Check one. Okay, okay. Check one, two, three. Okay, yeah. Just a second. Hello. Check. Okay.
Check, check. Surana.
सर अगर आप रुकिए तबला में चेक करा लेते हैं प्लीज। जी जी
तबला तबला चेक
मैंने माइक में
भैया
लगा दिया।
एक बार तबला चेक करें
आ गया मैं इसी के लिए आ गया
वो तबला
थोड़ा सा मुझे हाइस करने दे दीजिए
क्या भैया
थोड़ा सा हाइस
आपके मॉनिटर पे भी मैंने बंद करा है।
हाँ मॉनिटर बंद
मैंने अपना माइक लगा दिया था उसमें थोड़ा ठीक नहीं आ रहा था।
बाहर बेस अच्छा आ रहा है ना
बाहर मतलब बेस बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहा है,
हाँ, ठीक है,
थोड़ा सा
करेक्ट।
मुझे काटना पड़ेगा।
और जो दे दिया उसको काटिए मत
मौजूद है सर।
बैठे रहो, आप बैठे रहो। कैसे हो? रेडी? वो तो भूल गई अपना जैसे भूले हुए जा रहे हैं आज।
अब मॉनिटर भी दे दीजिए
పైనుంచి రావాలి లాస్ట్ టైం పైనుంచి
కొంచెం
చెప్పండి అన్న ఆడియో ఎఫెక్ట్స్ 3 పోడియం కన్నా ఎఫెక్ట్స్ 3 పోడియం కన్నా పోడియం వాళ్ళు స్పీకర్స్లో బయటికి ఆడియో జస్ట్ నార్మల్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్స్ మాత్రమే తీసుకున్నారని ఆయన మైక్ జస్ట్ టెస్టింగ్ జరుగుతుంది ఆయన మైక్స్ అన్ని పనిచేస్తాయి దానికోసం రీప్లేస్మెంట్ చాలా మైక్ నడుస్తుంది అది టెస్టింగ్ జరుగుతుంది
आपकी, शुरू करें?
जी जी जी,
या और
तो मॉनिटर दीजिए बस मुझे
Namaskar and a very warm good evening to one and all present here. To commemorate the 150th birth anniversary celebrations of the Adi Guru of Sahaj Marg, Pujya Lalaji Maharaj, we are proud to be present here in the second day of the Kanha Music and Meditation Festival. We are honored and privileged to have amongst us today the living legend, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, a music giant who symbolizes the wisdom bridge and is an ardent believer in the Guru Shishya Parampara. Ustad Amjad Ali Khan believes that the first guru of every child is the mother. To quote him, "It is an incomparable journey where the guru leads you from the visible to the invisible, from the material to the divine, from the ephemeral to the eternal." Sarod Samrat Ustad Amjad Ali Khan is the 21st century's greatest living exponent of the sarod, the instrument whose name itself means melody in Persian. A musical genius who reveres his music from the very core of his being, he is one of the rare gems in Indian classical music, a legend who believes that every raga has a soul that can only be felt and experienced. Ustad Amjad Ali Khan belongs to the Senia Binkar Gharana, which began from the legendary Mian Tansen. We respectfully share with you this legendary lineage of the Senia Binkar Gharana, the family credited with the development and evolution of the sarod as we know it today, from the older rabab, the instrument that accompanied the soulful yearnings of Guru Nanak, strummed through the fingers of his disciple Mardana. His ancestor, Ghulam Bandagi Khan Sahib, modified the rabab into an instrument that could fuse folk and Indian classical music. His son, Ghulam Ali Khan Sahib, further perfected the instrument to play Indian classical music. Carrying on this great tradition was his grandson, Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan Sahib of Gwalior, father of Ustad Amjad Ali Khan. A real musical phenomenon, every stroke of music played from his fingers was a prayer in itself. The blessings of his gurus, who hailed from the lineage of Mian Tansen and Swami Haridas, blossomed into his spiritual performances. Such greatness arose from his spiritual heart, whose purity channeled into exquisite creativity. This rich inheritance passed on to his son, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, who represents the 6th generation of this great tradition and has taken his legacy to even greater heights. From his debut at the age of 6 in Gwalior, he has, over his illustrious career spanning almost 7 decades, performed and produced the finest music. His musical compositions have been acclaimed internationally, and his name finds a place in the International Directory of Distinguished Leadership. He is credited with creating many beautiful new ragas: Rag Savan Malhar, Rag Shyama Gauri, Rag Rahat Kons, Rag Swar Samir, Rag Suhag Bhairav, and a tribute to his wife. As a tribute to his wife, he created Sura Subha Lakshmi Raga on the auspicious occasion of her birthday as a surprise gift to her. Ustad Amjad Ali Khan has been bestowed with several awards and accolades throughout his illustrious career. The UNESCO Award, UNESCO honored Khan Sahib with the Gandhi Medal in Paris, the UNICEF's National Ambassadorship, the Crystal Award by the World Economic Forum, honorary doctorates from the world's leading universities, a fellowship at the Sangeet Natak Academy, and the highest awards from the French and Japanese governments, to name just a few. It is our honor and privilege to be a part of this very special music evening with Ustad Amjad Ali Khan Sahib. I am happy to share that his sons, Aman Ali Bangash and Ayan Ali Bangash, along with their twins, Zohan and Abir, are carrying this rich tradition of music forward into the future. I now request Ustad Amjad Ali Khan Sahib to take us to the spirit of the world with his soulful music.
Namaskar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and privilege for all of us to offer our humble musical tribute to Param Adarniya Daaji. It's a very auspicious day, Vasant Panchami and Saraswati Puja. In our country, we say Swar hi Ishwar hai. The music connects you to God. And I'm very grateful to God Almighty that I was born in the family of musicians. I'll begin the recital as a tribute to all the freedom fighters of our country, because it's a Republic Day also. Especially Mahatma Gandhi, his favorite devotional song, I would like to begin with that. Thank you very much. The next item is a beautiful composition by great legendary poet Rabindranath Tagore. He composed many poetry in different rag, but this particular song is based on the folk music of Bengal, and the message is beautiful. Ekla chalo re. most of the song, they are based on language, text, lyrics. But in 13th century, there was a Sufi saint, Hazrat Amir Khusro, who created Qawwali called Kalbana and singing a style of singing called Tarana. So Tarana doesn't deal with language. So he created a language of syllables, language of music, Tana Tom, Tadare Dani, Dirdri Dani. So I have composed many Taranas, but this particular composition is in Rag Bahar. Tadare Dani, Tadare Dani, Tadani Dim, Tana Tanum. Tadare Dani, Tadani Dim, Tana Tanum. Tanum, Tananum, Taderena, 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 Tadare Dani, Tadani Dim, Tana Tanum. Tana na 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 dim, tana na 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 na, tana na 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 dim, tana na 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 na. Tananum, tananum, tarana, tananum, tadare dani, dakadakadum gidakadita, kadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadak tana tanum tadare dani tadani dim tadare dani tadani dim tana tanum tadare dani tadani dim tana tanum tananum tadare dani dir dani tarare dani tom tanana 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 tom tanana dim tanatanum tadare dani tadani dim tanatanum tanum tananum taderena 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 tadare dani tadani dim tanatanum yeah shower tananana dim tananana tananana dim tananana yeah boss tananana dim tananana tananana dim tanana tananum tananum tanana tananum tadare dani dakir dum gid tak dit tak tere tak dikne da kanda tadare dani tadani dim tanatanum क्या बात tananum tadare dani dir dani tadare dim tanana 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 tom tanana tanana tom tanana tom tanana tom tanana tom ni ba ma pa ga ma ni da ni sa ni sa ni ba ga ma re sa ni re sa ni sa ma pa ga ma ni da ni sa re sa ni sa ni da ni sa ni sa tanana tom tanana tom tanana 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 tom tanana 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 tom tanana 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 tom tanana 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 tom tanana tom tanana tom tanana tom tanana tom tananum tananum tadare dani dir tom tanana tanana ara ara nanum tanana 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 tom tanana tom tanana 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 tom tanana tadare dani di tanatanum tadare dani di tanatanum tadare dani di tanatanum. I'll play on the sarod now. I'm sorry, during the recital, sometime I have to file my nails, not to beautify my fingers. But this is a necessity because cello is played with fingertip, violin with fingertip, sitar with fingertip. But if I play sarod with fingertip, it will sound like this. But to bring out the human expression, I have to press the string with the edge of my fingernails, and that's why I need to file during the recital. You can see the difference, the sound of fingertip and then sound of the nails. So this is the traditional music of 13th century and 15th century. The raga created during that time, Zila Kafi, a composition in 14 beats time cycle, Deep Chandi or Chachar, Zila Kafi. So there is a rag as a tribute to goddess Saraswati. So I'll play a composition, rag Saraswati, followed by Basant. So this is Basant Utsav, and with Basant I will conclude the recital. Just short pieces of Saraswati and then Basant. Thank you very much, very kind of you. This is what Indian music is. We don't rehearse. He did not know what I'm going to do. So we just meet on the stage and we have such chemistry that we play together. Sometimes we keep singing when we are alone. We keep humming. Sometimes we forget where we are singing, where we are sitting. So we are obsessed with the music. One melody I used to sing all the time. Da 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 re, na, re, na, re, na, ta, ta, no, re, na, na, ta, no, ta, na, ta, da, re, da, na, da, da, ra, da, ra, da, da, re, da, ra, da, da, ra, da, re, da, ra, re, da, 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 ra, da, ra, da, re, na, ra, na, da, ta, no, sa, ni, re, ga, ma, pa, ma, ga, ga, re, sa, ni, sa, da, ni, da, pa, ma, pa, ni, da, ni, sa, re, pa, ga, ma, re, pa, ma, pa, da, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, ni, da, pa, ma, da, ni, sa, ni, pa, da, ni, da, pa, re, ga, ma, pa, ma, da, ta, no. So I suddenly stopped and started thinking, what am I singing? What is this? And this was something new. And that time, there was an invitation from Ganesh festival from Maharashtra, Pune. Okay, please compose something new for Lord Ganesha. So I called this melody Ganesh Kalyan. So I will conclude the recital with Ganesh Kalyan.
We thank you, sir, for this spell-binding performance and the deep feelings that your music has evoked in all of us. I now request Daaji to please felicitate Ustad Amjad Ali Khan Sahib and Pandit Ram Kumar Mishra ji. I request all brothers and sisters to please ensure mobile phones are switched off and children are not present in the meditation hall.
What an evening, splendid performance, transporting us to a different level of awareness, and that's what music is. Yesterday, Sister Kausiki Chakraborty asked a question about how she gets transported into a different level during the music recitals. Same thing happened. And we are fortunate to have such a legend amongst us. It's a rare opportunity, very rare opportunity. And especially to perform on Basant Panchami, on a very special occasion that hallmarks a milestone in the history of this organization. Many, many years back, I happened to be the part of one of the recitals. He often came to New Jersey. And for the first time, I went with my preceptors, Sister Lalita Ben and Chinubai. I was not a great music lover in those days. I liked it. Whenever something happened, I heard. But then slowly and slowly I developed amazing, hunger for classical music, both vocal as well as instrumental, and he represents both. Amazing. But those days, that was the first actually real classical performance attendance I made in my life. And then later on, it became contagious, thanks to Ustadji. Anyway, without any further ado, we'll meditate now, and Ustadji will ask a question, and we'll try and see if we can answer some. Thank you. Let's all now meditate on the presence of that supreme light in the heart. Thank you.
We will now have an interaction between Ustad Amjad Ali Khan Sahib and revered Daaji.
आदरणीय Daaji, how is heartfulness connected with Sufism?
Sufism has two fundamental principles. Number one is remembrance. All the time you are in remembrance of the Maker. Second is restlessness, to create restlessness or fikr. Both are described in many literatures as fikr and dhikr. Remembrance and restlessness. Why do we meditate? We meditate on the presence of the divine light we all have. With the help of transmission, Sufism calls this transmission as tawajjuh. Babuji calls it pranahuti. It's the same thing, pranasya pranaha, meaning one that nourishes your soul, one that nourishes your ruh. We all know how to nourish the body. We also know very well how to nourish our mind. But in order to nourish our soul, you need this tawajjuh, the attention from above. So these are a few similarities. Practice, practice and practice. As riyaz we call in anything, music, recital, demands relentless riyaz. Same thing with meditation. Meditation done once in the morning or 5 times a day and forgetting the source rest of the hours is of no use. It must become a habit. It must become a biological clock. It must become automatic in our system that with every breath we remember the Lord. These are some similarities.
Has music ever helped you increase your bhakti to God?
Yes. I started practicing meditation in 1976. Then I was 19 years, 20 years age, just transcending into. Since I started, those days we used to enjoy filmy music. And whenever Mohammed Rafi Saab or Lata Mangeshkar or they used to have these love songs. And those love songs, I would connect it with God, with the Master. For example, there is one song, Dil mein tujhe bitha ke, kar lungi teri puja. When this is a song, a romantic song, but when we reflect on it and bring a spiritual aspect to it, it becomes better than bhajan. You listen to any music, there are two sides of it, and especially the music recitals by Sufis, some qawwalis, some bhajans, some romantic songs. They all have a double-edged sword. There is a lover and a beloved. We are the lover, he is the beloved. It's up to you to whom you want to relate it to your best friend with whom you are romancing or with the Lord. It depends on your attitude. You can drown yourself in filmy music or convert it to your advantage.
Daaji, do you still get angry?
I feel sad actually. Instead of getting angry, I feel pity. Even though I feel like getting angry, it just doesn't happen. I get irritated to some extent, but I don't remember getting so angry to lose my head. It has not happened.
Do you suffer from emotions, and how do you deal with it?
Well, emotions will always be there. We are all human beings with hearts. Whenever I receive emails from our satsangis because of hardship, for example, sometimes they write, "My son is beating me up," meaning son is beating up the father. What to do? Your heart cries out. And is there a solution? Can I say that stay away from your son or get some two people and finish him off? Sisters writing, my husband demands favors, unnatural sexual habits. Your heart cries out. He had just delivered a child in a hospital. She comes home and he demands, "I want sex." This breaks your heart and loses confidence in humanity. At home also, whenever mother or children or sons, they get sick, there is no easy solution, then you take a little deep and say, "Oh, something is wrong. What to do?" We do as best as we can. And things we cannot do, we offer prayers. May Allah, may Allah solve the problem. Rest, you don't worry. So emotions are there, but transfer it. Leave it to God and say, "God, I try my best, but you must try your best first. And then if you cannot solve it, leave it to Him." I share with you an example from Lalaji's life, whose birthday we are celebrating. One of his daughters at the age of 2 or so passed away. And during the small assembly of satsangis, one fakir or one sannyasi came and saw tears in Lalaji's eyes. So sannyasi was mocking Lalaji Sahab. Said, "You, a saint, how can you be crying on the death of just a little child?" Lalaji didn't say anything at that moment. And after a brief gap of time, he got up from his position, collected some dry leaves and walked on it. That made a lot of noise. You know what sort of noise it makes. Lalaji said, even dead leaves makes noise when they are hurt. I'm a human being with a heart. How can I not cry on passing of my daughter? My heart is not of stone. So it's okay. Now and then we become sad, now and then become jubilant, now and then we become blissful. It's okay. This is part of life. We master this life and then move on into the next dimension. Actually, without emotions, आदमी को आदमी नहीं कह सकते. Man is not a man if he lacks emotion in his heart.
Two more questions, humble questions. Why education could not create compassion and kindness in a human being?
A nice question, because education is all related to mind. As I was saying, education is related to mind. Compassion, kindness, empathy, these are the qualities that belongs to heart. Someone has to work on the heart. What prevents us from expressing our compassion? It is not that we are not compassionate. Every human being is compassionate. But we have formed unfortunate conditioning. I share with you an example. One scientist did an experiment on how we respond to various situations. He selected followers of Sikhism. One was a Jewish gentleman, another was Islam, Muslim, and some other, if I remember right, it was someone from Africa. So there were 4 or 5 human types from different background. They were put differently at different times into the tunnel, into this MRI machine, functional MRI machine, where they were probed into to measure the response from the brain. They were trying to measure the response of a person. Suppose when you are lying down in that functional MRI machine and you are a Jewish person, in front there will be a video within that MRI machine where you can see torturing of Sikh or a torturing of some animal or torturing of a Jewish person and torturing of a Muslim. The highest emotional response was when a Jew was tortured and there was a Jewish person in the tunnel. Likewise, the highest response of emotion was when a Muslim person witnessed the torturing of another Muslim. But the same amount of response was not there when a Sikh or a Jew person was being tortured. We all have compassion, but we have selective compassion. It has not become universal. And it cannot become universal as long as this separation remains within us. Tribal, we are still tribal, we are still leading a life of forest competition. We must rise above, and that's what our seminar was all about. From 21st to 23rd European seminar, where we talked about how we move from mundane, animalistic or human life to humane life, full of compassion and kindness, and then if possible, a life of divine farishta-like life. Sacrifice the life of divinity. Compassion, kindness is humane life where we become humanized. Violence, aggression, that belongs to animal kingdom, human kingdom. And all this can slowly happen by changing the heart. As the heart becomes purer and purer, simpler and simpler, where you begin to witness godly presence, the light which dwells in our heart also dwells in other beings. not just human, in every being, in every particle, every nook and corner is saturated with that light. Even when we touch a chair, even when we lift up this water flask, we touch it with love. Why not other human beings? So this we perceive, this need arises, we are sensitized from our heart that I can no longer tolerate such discrepancies of my heart. Through practice it becomes possible.
The last question. The children, they want to get rid of their parents. They are getting more detached. They want to be disconnected with their parents. And most of the children, when they grow up, they don't want to look after the parents. They send them to an old home. So I feel very sad. Once I went into depression, seeing this kind of detachment, because I served my guru, my father, till his last time. I am the only classical musician who didn't go to Bombay. I was born in Gwalior and my father lived in Delhi, and being the youngest child, I was so attached to my father, and he was very old, and due to musical politics, he was suffering also, and he was just waiting for me to, understand music. And I was invited, I will go to Bombay to perform, or Chennai or anywhere, I'll come back immediately. I wanted to look after my father. And in 1971, Mr. James Babuji from Canada, he came to India to make documentary film on some musicians. I was also one of them. And during that documentary, he asked me, what is your ambition of life? And promptly I said, to look after my parents. Why it is happening? Why the young people are trying to detach themselves from their parents, from their guru? I know they have become very selfish. I'm sorry to use this word. But I would like your roshni, your light.
I wish I had an easy solution. And जब कभी भी आपको इसका solution मिल जाए, मुझे दे देना साहब. इसके बारे में हमने एक किताब लिखी है, Wisdom Bridge. It started with, in 2012, the idea emerged in 2012 to write a book on family life, raising children, role of parents and grandparents and other friends in the community. One of our friends' daughter came to visit. Then I was in Chennai, in Madras. I asked her, "Beta, kab shaadi karoge?" She was by then already 26, 27, something like that. I said, "It's high time you should get married." Then she said, "Uncle, I will get married and I'm 32, 33, like that." I said, "Good." Then I asked her the next question, "Whom do you like the most in your family?" She said, "My grandmother." Then promptly I asked her another question. When you have your children, would they have grandparents left? Start calculating, I say. When you marry at 33, you'll have children perhaps. When you're 34, 35, if God wills. You delay too much, you may not even have your own child. You might have end up adopting others to their luck. When you have a child at 35 and your child turns teenager, you will be menopausing. teenage hormones in the house, boiling with anger, and you with irritability and all kinds of depressions because of menopause. What becomes of the house atmosphere? A house full of disturbance. And then later on, when your child needs some comfort and there are no grandparents, who will solve that problem? The grandparents are very, very important in one's life. You are saying that they don't want to live with parents. Forget about grandparents. Another example I was sharing with her was that in the absence of grandparents, this wisdom that they transfer, unspoken wisdom, how to sit properly, how to eat, how to speak, all those behavioral things, they don't learn. Be you a family from Jainism or Sikh or Muslim or Hindu, doesn't matter. Some rituals we transfer to children. They end up learning those disciplines. That disciplines their mind. Purpose is only one, God realization. Disciplines are various, that's okay, and we respect them all. I was sharing the example of Amazonian forest, where most of the youngsters are moving away from the forest into bigger cities. Villages are left behind only by the old people. And old people carry the knowledge with their fathers, their grandparents, their great-grandparents transferred to them. In the absence of youngsters in a village, how can they transfer that knowledge? Impossible. So, I think humanity overall is heading towards extreme shock. What is not passed on from one generation to next generation will be completely lost. It will be clueless. And certain things are there which you cannot learn from Google, cannot learn from internet. From Google and internet, if anyone has learned any good thing, I doubt it. A lot of bad things they are learning. Their private rooms have become their own enemies. Nowadays, people say, oh, the outside world is very bad. I cannot send my daughter outside after 9 o'clock. I agree. But then there are more dangers lurking in her own private rooms. You don't know what she's doing in the room. Surfing, meeting all kinds of people. And when we give so much of freedom, the basic moral foundation is destroyed. They become very selfish. They become very arrogant. And when you tell them not to do things, you become their enemies. There's another reason why they want to run away from families. Extreme selfishness. Moreover, adults also are to be blamed to a certain extent. We end up buying them all kinds of fancy things, even before they ask for it. You tell them, please, better don't use phones. But we all use phones, keep it under the pillow and go to sleep. How are you going to convince them not to use the phone? If adults begin to somehow display a lifestyle which is pure and simple, I was saying pakiz and sadgi, purity and simplicity. When they do this worship together, be it bhajan kirtan or be it namaz or be it meditation together in a house, it creates an atmosphere. which they learn. If they go outside, even for a day, they say, oh, I'm missing that atmosphere, let me go back home. I can do this worship with my parents, with my brothers and sisters. So to me, what can bind a family very strongly is this foundation of spirituality, where when we close our eyes and see the consequences of our action before we act, then you will perhaps stop doing what you were going to do. If I run away from my mother, from my father, think over it. I experienced once a tragedy. I can't name names here because they are all our Abhyasis also. Very closely related in my own family. बहू आई 2 दिन के बाद बोली कि उनके घर में मैं नहीं रहूंगी। तो बेटे क्या हो गया? I can live with my husband, but I will not live with his parents. ऐसे इसमें बुरा क्या है रहना? तेरे को खाना नहीं बनाना पड़ेगा, तो शांति से तो रहेगी। No, but I want to enjoy life. And why did you get married? You could have had a half a dozen boyfriends. So this is the mindset. And this is not just today. Sometime in 1948, our master, Guruji, he wrote a letter to one Abhyasi. The main problem of a new daughter-in-law coming into a house is from both sides. अपनापन. जब तक अपनापन नहीं होता है, she will live like a guest in the house. में मजा नहीं है. तो अपनापन establish करना है from both sides. This is my daughter-in-law, not just daughter. This is my daughter. And daughter-in-law has to understand this is my new family. I must cherish this family. I must love this family. If she cannot do it, please don't think of marriage. Stay bachelor and fool around instead of destroying somebody else's family.
The problem of religion, it's never ended. All over the world, there is racial problem in our country, so much. There are group of people, they want to divide. So, I am grateful to God Almighty that this precious gift, the music, has come to my life. And through the music, I have realized and I have felt that I belong to every religion.
Yes.
My audience come from every religion, and in our country we say Swar hi Ishwar hai. The music has connected the world, but with all due respect to the language sometimes creates barriers. So it has been a great honor and privilege to be near you and to hear you, and I would always like to be connected with your organization, with you.
Thank you, sir. I would actually extend my heartfelt invitation to you, the children and grandchildren. One day, who knows, all 3 generations can perform here, sir. So I tell you one beautiful thing my Guruji told. When we recite La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, what is the meaning of it? If you translate it into Sanskrit, it is the first sloka of Rig Veda. That God is one, He is the only one. Whether you call, like bread, one day someone asked me, how do you convince the people? If you translate Gita into Urdu and Quran into Sanskrit, you'll find difficulty in understanding and in differentiating whether this is from Hinduism or this is from Islam. No. Another thing, in India we call, in Gujarat, rotli or rotla. Same bread, elsewhere is called differently. English we call bread. Naan, roti, कुछ भी बोल दो. Same thing is with God. Our languages are different. So we give different names, and because of the different names you keep fighting. But it's the same entity. I give also this example. If Buddha had to stand on the Everest, Mahavir also stands on the same Everest. Nanak Sahib stands on the same Everest. And listen to their description of Everest at the same time. All three will describe it differently. But all three cannot stand on the same point on Everest. They'll have to face different direction. One will be seeing the sunset, another will be seeing the sunrise, another will know nothing at all. And that description will mislead the people. They saw what they saw from their own individual heights in spirituality. And they described that in the language they knew. That we keep fighting. Oh, this is prem, this is love, this is ishq. All nonsense. All this can be felt in the heart. When we say we meditate in the presence of light, divine presence, divine light in the heart. Some people say, is it okay if I meditate on Nur-e-Ilahi? So why not? It's the same thing. Nur means light, Ilahi means the ultimate. What is the difference? No difference whatsoever. Ruhe Nur means Atmiya Prakash. It's all unnecessarily, the world is in chaos. Problem with Hinduism is one. In Vedic time there were no temples. No, not even one. Because the people then, they were so pure and humble and simple, they could experience that ultimate presence in everything. In the sky, in the akash, in waters, in the mountains, in the trees, in animals, in others. So there was no need to build anything specific. God has created all this anyway. So they worship mountains, the rivers. But now, they worship mountains and rivers without knowing why. And even though you may know why, that God is everywhere, but nobody feels the presence. So the belief has come in the way of most of Hindus. Problems with monotheistic religions like Islam, Christianity, Judaism. They think nobody is better than us. If you are not a Muslim, you are somebody else, chop him off. If you are a Christian or a Jew, you see a Muslim, your blood boils. So these are problems related to ignorant masses.
I think in the world, we have enough religious buildings, whether mosque, church or temples. Considering the problems of poor people, poor human beings, I think we need more hospitals in the world than religious buildings.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. Thank you all, and you have a wonderful evening. And it's such a pleasure to have Ustad Amjad Ali Khan. I hope many opportunities will be there to be together and listen to him. Thank you.
All brothers and sisters,